Boots on correctly is extremely important. Get it wrong and you can ruin your day and even possibly your week. Firstly, it's worth investing in a couple of good pairs of ski socks. Pull them up all the way and make sure you've just got one pair and no creases, nice and smooth. Open up your boot, make sure all the clips are off, and then give a good push. I'm in. A little tap back onto your heel to make your foot and your ankle sit right in the back of the cup. Open up the clips and make sure the tongue is in the middle and in between the two plastic cuffs. Very important. Give it a pull, a little bit of a wiggle, and I'm ready to do the boot up. Start off around the ankle. Now I'm not trying to do it up too tight to start with, just get the clips on and the Velcro strap. Give it a pull, nice and tight. That feels okay. Now I can start to gently do it up tighter. That's feeling pretty good. Now you want it as firm and as tight as you can get it without feeling uncomfortable. It's very important that the boot and your foot isn't sliding around on the inside. A lot of people don't do the boot up too tight because they think it's going to hurt their foot, but in fact if you're too loose and you're swimming in the boot, there's a good chance you're going to rub and create blisters, which is not really what you're after. You're more likely to create a problem by having the boot too loose than too tight. The thing with these modern clips, if you're in between two of the grooves, you can turn the clip, making it shorter or longer to get it exactly where you want it. It's worth spending the time. An extra few minutes getting that right will actually make a lot of difference. Anything to do with the trousers, like a cuff like this, don't try and shove it on the inside. Put it over the boot, trousers down, and you're pretty good to go. Now if you have any problems on the first couple of runs, it's worth just making sure that boot's right. Don't put it off and wait for lunch. Get the boots right and it'll make a lot of difference. Walking on snow's hard enough, let alone with these boots on. So give yourself a little bit of extra balance. Hold the top of the poles in one hand, squeeze the skis together, and you can use them for a little bit of extra balance. Try not to jam the skis too hard onto the snow, but if it is icy, it's going to be a lot more stable. When you find a slope, the best way to handle it is to actually kick the boots in to the snow, and you'll find you'll get a lot more grip. And if I actually turn around and come downhill, it's exactly the same, but you can actually kick the heel into the snow and just take your time, but use the boot to give you a bit more extra grip. Before you even get the skis on, you need to learn how to carry them properly. There's a few different ways. The first one, we can bend down and pick up the heel binding and just gently rest it on your shoulder. It's a great way to get around. If you haven't got far to go or you're in a crowded area, you don't want to be smacking anybody on the head. But be aware, you need to pick up the ski with the brake underneath the other one. If you get it wrong, you'll simply just take one ski and leave the other one behind. So you need the brake to sit under of the ski that you're going to pick up. So that one's underneath the other one. If I pick that up, it's going to take both with them. Another way, if you've maybe got further to travel and a bit more space around you, is to pick up the ski, take a look behind you before you do that, and place it onto your shoulder. There you go. Keep one hand firmly on the front and just let it sit onto that shoulder. But obviously we don't want any Laurel and Hardy sketches. Be a little bit aware that you've got a lot of ski behind you and it could hit someone in the head. So be careful and look behind before you hike them up onto your shoulder. First things first, the ski. Tip of the ski, tail of the ski. Bendy bit goes forward, nice and simple. Bindings, toe binding, heel binding. These are the things that are going to hold you on the ski. And here we've got a ski brake. Basically, when you're in the ski, that'll be out of the way. If you do take a tumble, they release, brake will pop down and stop that ski sliding down and killing someone. Underneath, plastic base. You're going to slide on this, and each side of that, you've got a metal edge. If you hear anybody refer to the word edge, they're talking about simply tipping the ski onto the side and using that metal edge. all you need to know. The heel binding's got two positions, closed and open. When you're in the ski, it will be closed. To get yourself out, you're going to have to place the ski stick in the hole in the back, push down firmly, lift your heel, and you're out. But bear in mind, if you do take a tumble, there's a good chance the heel binding will still be closed. So rather than spend 10 minutes trying to get the ski on when it's already closed, push down, open the binding, and you're ready to go again. Find yourself a nice flat area, place the skis on the snow, hip width apart and parallel. Make sure the toe bindings are lined up together. 1 foot in the middle, and we're ready to put the skis on. Now bear in mind at this stage, depending on the snow, you might find you have snow stuck to the bottom of your boot. You can either give it a tap with the ski stick, a scrape, place the toe under nice and straight, look behind, make sure it's lined up and give a good solid push. You're in. So you've got the skis on. Now, just spend a few minutes on the flat before you even start sliding, just getting used to the feeling of them. Don't have to lift them up, just slide them forward one by one, maybe walk backwards and forwards a few times just to get used to it. So it's now time to actually ski down the hill, but before we do that, we've got to get up there. There's no point in facing up the mountain trying to walk the way you want to go. You'll simply just slide backwards and look like Michael Jackson doing the moonwalk. What we want to do is get our skis sideways and across the hill, and then just gently using your knees and ankles, roll the skis onto their edges and start to step up. We've made it to the top of the slope. It's now time just to simply slide down. Use your poles for a bit of balance, step round, feet hip width apart, skis parallel. Very important, head up and look where you're going. Anybody who's ever taught a child to ride a bike knows the problems. As soon as they look down, they're going to lose balance and fall over. So check the slope and just gently start to slide. A couple of pushes with the poles and just stand as normally as you can. Okay, perfect. Now I've chosen this slope, so I've naturally come to a standstill. Look for a slope with a flat part at the bottom or even a slight uphill, so you're not going to panic about feeling like a runaway train. Avoid sticking the poles in to try and come to a standstill. Literally stand still on the skis, let them get on with it.
If you're doing this without your poles, it doesn't make any difference. Just relax and let the slope naturally slow you down and come to a stop.
Now you've been keeping the skis parallel and just sliding down. It's now time to meet your new best friend, the snowplough. You're going to push the backs of the skis out and create a V or wedge shape with the skis, and that's going to give you some resistance and the feeling of slowing down. The easiest way to try the snowplough for the first time is down here on the flat. You can use a friend, and all they're going to do is pull you along using the ski poles, slide for a couple of meters and then gently push both skis. Very important to make it equal. The backs of the skis wider and wider. Look them in the eyes, it's going to help you balance. Okay, let's give it a go. Start to slide. I'm now simply going to push wider with the skis. If I keep going wider, I'll actually see if I can stop him from pulling me. Give that a few goes. We've got the snowplough dialed on the flat. It's now time to actually try it for real. Same rules apply. Remember the basics. Looking forward, arms nicely in front and away from your body, and relax. Pick up a bit of momentum, let yourself go, and then very, very gently start to push the backs of the skis slightly wider. If I increase that and go slightly bigger, I'll actually come to a stop. Perfect control.
Everything is gradual, nothing is rushed. Gently push out the back of the skis and you come to a complete stop.
If you're finding you're giving yourself problems by swimming or making any weird hand gestures, putting the poles in the snow to try and help yourself, simple way, get rid of these things. Place the hands onto the thighs and keep the upper body nice and calm. If you watch as I'm coming down, literally my chest is going to face you all the way down. Hands there, relax the upper body and just be gentle. Much better. Let's have another go. Well, the inevitable's happened. I've had a crash. Now, the first thing you want to do, sort yourself out. Take the poles off, so get the straps off your hands. Next thing, sort your skis out. They're a bit crossed, so you can push that one back, get them together. Now, very important, work out which way is down and place your skis 90 degrees across that slope. There's no point in you trying to stand on a ski that's still pointing slightly down. You'll just keep sliding off. So I can now pull my legs and knees up towards my chest as far as I can get them. Put the poles together. And we're going to use these to help. So I can put my left hand down here by my hip. The poles are together. I'm going to place my right hand over the top. So as I push with my left, I can pull with my right. Try and do this in one fluid movement. There you are, I'm on my feet. Now, take a moment to sort yourself out. I'm in one piece, I can get the straps back on. I'm ready to go again. Perfect. The snowplough isn't about pulling the knees together and pulling the skis onto their sides. It's going to be virtually impossible and kill those thighs. Very uncomfortable. It'll also cause the skis to actually come together and cross. Another thing to watch out for is just simply turning your feet. Again, you're going to create the skis coming together, going to make it a lot harder. Leave the fronts, the ski tips where they are, and simply push the backs out nice and smooth. Don't force anything. Something that's not much fun is walking up the slope, and it's very tiring. That's why they invented lifts, and this is probably one of the first ones you'll find. It might be called a button lift, a drag lift, or a pommer, and it's very simple to start to use. Both poles are in my left hand because this lift is on the right. Get your skis hip width apart and facing up the hill, and very important, if you're not ready, don't try and get on the thing. It's not a problem to just let this one go. Much better to make sure you're ready. Now I'm going to look behind me, hand out ready, take the lift and let it sit on your bum and just let yourself slide. Now, a common problem is people trying to sit down. This thing won't actually support your weight, so if you sit down, you will actually go down. Stand up, relax and look ahead. Just let the skis get on with it. This is something you want to avoid, getting off too early, thinking you've made it, woohoo, and then starting to slide backwards. It can be quite dangerous. Got a lot more time than you think. Stay relaxed, wait until you're on the flat, pull it down and gently let it go. Now don't stand here, there's always people coming up behind. Move forward and get out of the way. Something that could be quite intimidating the first few times you do it is getting on a chairlift. It's all about being ready. Make sure your straps are off your hands so you can get those poles out of the way in one hand and then move forward to the gates. There's often these panels that will open and shut, so as soon as you're ready, they'll open and slide forward and then look behind you. So get yourself ready and then slide all the way forward. There's normally a line or a mark which will tell you where to stop. Now I'm ready, poles in one hand, look behind you. Get this hand ready, it's going to touch the seat and then gently sit down. No stress. Getting off, the opposite applies, but you're just doing the same as you got on, but in reverse. Lift up the safety bar, poles in one hand, and place the hand on the chairlift. Now as you stand up, lean forward and push off with your hand on the chair. Keep the skis parallel and gently slide away from the lift. Now it's very important that as you get off that lift, you don't snowplough straight away. If you're standing next to somebody else, you'll push into a snowplough and the back of your ski can get caught on theirs and it will pull the leg round and you'll fall over. Give yourself time and remember, always come away from the top of the chairlift and give yourself some space before you get ready. You've got the snowplough mastered. You're feeling very happy and confident that you can control your speed in that plough, maybe even change the size a few times. Once you've got that dialed, we can look at trying to change your direction and do something called a snowplough turn. Everything being even in your snowplough, this ski wants to actually go this way, this ski wants to travel in this direction. If you keep everything even, the weight nice and centred, they'll cancel each other out and you're going in a straight line. All I'm going to do here is do exactly what I've done before, start to slide, push into a snowplough, and then just very, very slightly push more on my right leg to actually change direction and turn to the left. Let's have a go. So the hands in front, looking forward, and I'm just going to start to push more with my right leg, and it started to win and take me around to the left. Let's have another go.
Make sure you start out in a snowplough. Pick up some speed and then turn the right ski more and gently change direction.
We're not linking the turns yet. We've tried it to the left, we're now going to try it to the right. So it's that left leg that's going to push out slightly harder. Again, try and watch. I've got a calm upper body, I'm not twisting, I'm just pushing harder with that left leg. Gently let the turn work. It's not power steering, it won't happen in a split second. Progressively, think of it as a nice smooth turn rather than a sharp one. Let's go again.
You'll probably find one direction easier than the other, that's normal. But keep practicing and remember, turn the foot and the ski will come round.
So now we can start putting our turns together and actually linking them down the hill. Don't think of it as a massive change of direction. Turning to the right, turning that left ski, straighten up, spend a moment facing down the hill, then you can actually start your next turn. We want to avoid the feeling of trying to turn in one foul swoop. If you look back at your tracks, you want to see a nice smooth S shape as opposed to a zigzag. Let's have a go.
Push out the back of the left ski and start to turn across the hill. From here I can start to push out the back of the right ski and point down the hill. If I keep pushing that right ski, I'll gradually turn round to the left. Remember, we want a smooth S, not a Z. Now that we're linking the turns, remember the basics. My arms are in front, I'm looking ahead and making smooth, gentle movements. A common problem is twisting the body and moving the hips sideways. This will cause one ski to go flat and pull the other ski onto its edge. This will stop you turning.
A lot of people will try and pull the front of the ski the way you want it to go. You're going to basically roll the ski over and try and yank it around the corner. The harder you pull, the more it's going to stick in the snow. Stand yourself up and gently push the back of the ski, turn the foot and let that start to turn you nice and smooth.
Don't try and pull the front of the ski to turn, push the back.
Well done, first day on skis. You should be feeling some control using the snowplough and just having an idea of changing directions gently down the slope. The next time we're going to find a much longer slope, not any steeper, but it's going to give you more time to get into the run, and we're going to really work on your turns and feeling that extra control. We're even going to look at losing that snowplough towards the end of the turn.